Okay, so today is sort of a big day for this because I've been disciplined and saved up my gems. Or normally it's 5, now it's 450 at the last second. So I don't want this one, but basically what I've done is I've saved up enough gems, or still not yet. Some must want to only destroy all mowers instead of beating you up. Thanks for the follow. Basically, I made a very distinct decision that a lot of people don't like, and they keep telling me to buy packs. But I'm going to save up to 400, so I always have 400 in my back pocket, so I can get at least any one event card that I want. And then anything over 400, I'll use to buy packs like normal. So basically, the point is that here are my 2 criteria for what event card I'll get. It has to be a zombie card because I already have a couple legendaries for plants, and it has to be a super high cost card. So like this one I wouldn't get even if people say it's the best card in the game. So yeah, I don't want that. End of story. The fact that it's 2 costs, I don't care if it's good, just because it's not going to be fun. So we get to save it. I'm not going to, and of course it'll be a one-time thing. It's not like I'm going to get one, you know, getting back to 400 is going to take forever. Now this is the problem with the 100 gem quest, is that it takes forever to actually do it. Don't get the event cards like that. Well, it's like I just want to have one cushion to be able to get one if I really want it. But generally, you know, it would take forever to always have 400. PvZ Heroes is the only game I'll never understand. It's just a card game. Like it's a perfect kind of casual type of game. I kind of wish maybe they would have kept going with it, with the support of it. You can't get them any other way since, yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, so it is a hefty price to pay. I was almost thinking I wasn't allowed to do that, but you're not really crafting it. You're buying it for an extreme price too. So that's the one exception, and there's no other way for me to get them, so I think it's fair. So yeah, like if Bad Moon Rising comes up again, that was a big missed opportunity. That would be the sort of one, like that's totally worth it, because that's an awesome card. I like the simple tower defense games. Yeah, those are fun. I haven't really played too many games like that, actually. I don't really think of PvZ as a tower defense game, even though it obviously is, but like what is the core difference? Normally in tower defense games, they don't attack the towers themselves, right? The towers are just there and they try to come through like the lane. Here, they're both towers and like shields for you. It should just give you 4 of them, yeah, for that expensive amount too. You'll find damage to heroes using bullseye cards. I don't really use too many of those. Give me a second one that'll give me 100. But no, the problem with this is I might not even do it this week, right? Like I have to do 300 damage today. That might be hard to do. And I normally try to pace these episodes. Like, why is it saying that twice? Like I'll go through every hero and until I lose one, and I can always rotate back and do them again. It's not like a one chance only, but it would be better if I had more heroes. Isn't it weird that I played this for so long and I still don't have another hero? We still have the base starting 3 with each. So then it would be like I'll never get done with all of them because I have so many to choose from. Lawn of Doom bundle. Solar Flare pack. Wall Knight pack. Okay. So yeah, even if I was to get the 400 gems, there's nothing really worth buying. But it always gives you something to look forward to. It's not like I'm in the loop knowing what's going to be next week's or this or that. That is such a good... just pretend like that 400 doesn't exist and just do it straight up. There's going to be nothing to change with these decks either, but I feel like we're at a reasonable comfort zone with them where, you know, we have a couple legendaries to show off, so let's give Green Shadow a chance. Deck with 2 legendaries. I must be some sort of hacker pay-to-win player. It's because everyone is used to Balloon TD. Yeah, I've never played those, but I've seen a lot about them. That's what made you special in the first place. I don't know why, but they updated it to give you a bunch of notifications for the current event in the game. No, I mean, once I can understand. I love that about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, Yu-Gi-Oh! They would spam the shit out of you. Like, you're sitting there for 10 minutes every time you open up the game. Or, like, Forsen had a funny moment like that in Hearthstone. He hasn't played Hearthstone in years, and then he goes to stream it. And his game not only spams him with notifications about updates and this expansion, that expansion, like every single one since he's played last time, but it literally bugs out and freezes, and he has to contact support, and he's sitting there on stream for like an hour, like, why the hell did I come back to this game? That's one of my favorite moments. So, I love the way these ones look, but... Cosmic Bean. That was like a couple years ago, but yeah, we do have this sexy thing, Dark Matter Dragon Fruit. And the other one is good value, but it's not really going to be something too exciting. And the reason why is because it's going to get removed right away. Dark Matter Dragon Fruit is always hard to remove because you have that little 6 mana effect, or increases tricks by 6 cost, which we haven't really seen that bear out too well. I'm gonna put it in the water and totally trigger people. Like, what exact decks do I have? I keep making these ones as a joke and then they confuse me later. Like, just the anti-hero. Not that that's my intent, but that's just most of what I have. That guy only has 1. This guy has like way too many, so now I'm confused as to what. I assume it's this one. Cosmic plants always felt weird for some reason. They felt like gods, but they're pretty much a joke. Yeah, people say they're not very good. When played, it becomes a 3-1. I guess this must have been what I was using. Yeah, we get like basically just a better version of the 3-peater and the dragon fruit, but actually it's not, because the one thing this can do that can't, like we've seen before, where it does like 27 damage to them in 1 turn, because you buff it up to 9 and it hits them in the face. That's what would make this absolutely completely busted, is if it could hit the face too, but that's the fair trade-off. And the smash is coming together with like a good armor type of deck. There's a lot of fun mechanics that we're playing around with. So of the decks I have right now, like which ones do I like the most? I love Green Shadow. I liked it even before we got that guy, the legendary, because I kind of love the 3-peater and the whole buff style. So that one I like. I don't really like Solar Flare, and I don't like the anti-hero thing that we're forced to use, just because that's mostly what she has. But I should play it more like aggro style anyway. In fact, let me look at it again. Since we don't even have any cards to add, we're just kind of looking over it anyway. But like, how much anti-hero stuff do I really have? I guess not really that much. You have this guy, 1, or I hardly have any. Why did I feel like I had more? 1? Wait, that's weird. I was even complaining about it. Well, whatever. That shows you how much I dislike it. Even 1 or 2 pisses me off. The walnut guy, I like his playstyle. So that one's okay. So to rank them, Green Shadow, walnut, then Solar for last, much to people's chagrin. Here, the Smash has actually been doing excellent. And I like the armor stuff, so I'll give Smash number 1. Infinity is pretty good performance-wise. Play it more like aggro, and then this guy's kind of been stupid the whole time. And oh wait, I thought it would reset 2 days. I guess it's not always at the end of the month though, right? I feel like sometimes it's a few days before, and that always confuses the shit out of me. I almost want to start with the zombies one time just to give them the honors, but they haven't really earned it. But now the expectation is higher for these. I should try to get to rank 20. Out of all the PvZ family, peas, shrooms, walnuts, sun, etc., what is your favorite? What is my favorite? That's a good question. I do love these environments. Oh, here we go. We get it, but we've had very seldom chance to use it, actually. In fact, that might have been the only time last time in a ranked game that I've had a chance to use it. That's tough to decide. I always like the... I always like the explosions and stuff. I like the cherry bombs and whatnot. Although even the Doom Shroom I always felt bad about using because it's so busted. You should almost arguably put that the other way. The cherries aren't even plants, they're fruits, so that arguably shouldn't count. You should see Sham Rocket. Like, we should be undefeatable with this in there. And honestly, that can sometimes be the point. Like, they'll just burn out of cards and then, you know, that'll put you over the top. You can see how even as a free-to-play, relatively new player, you can still get away with doing stuff like that because, you know, look at where I am already. Now, that's just dumb luck that I got that one in particular, but any of them. Doomshroom is a badass, definitely. 3 cost, destroy a zombie with 4 attack or more. I think I have seen that, but I don't think I have it. Why don't we just actually do this? Even though it seems like a waste of a play, I have nothing else really to play that turn. Or, I mean, I definitely don't have it, otherwise I would probably be using it. This card I almost don't even like, but there are some times where it can be good. Just so many effects are good when you play them out of the hand anyway. Pretty sure there's a Doomsday Shrooms and Chinese game somewhere. You're gonna have to use the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit to clear these clowns out. Plants here. Okay, so you can just destroy something basically outright, and we can trade into the other one. I want to make a deck built around that stupid environment that makes your plants there invincible, and I'll just put like 4 of them down everywhere, and it's like, you know, they won't be able to deal with all of them. Like, it's expensive, sure, it costs 4, but I'm not really that impressed by, I don't know, like, I just feel like that would wreck low-rated players because they're in a position where they're just not going to have environments or not that many of them. This one's not particularly even exciting, but it is still good. We can wait a little bit. I mean, he's putting all his fortune into the little Michael Jackson dancing stuff. I feel like we get this one a lot. You know what? He's in such a weird spot that I don't even mind doing that. It seems like a waste, but as long as we get to the late game, I should be in good shape. That environment plus Gravity or Soul Patch. Yeah, playing gets +2/+2, but I should wait on it. Yeah, I like that it has no downside for you, just even if you're not amphibious. It almost could say, like, you have to only play amphibious stuff on here. Then it would make it a little more difficult. As your event card gets plus that card's cost. He is getting me pretty low, to be fair. +2/+2 on heights. I mean, you obviously want the conjuration effect. And the reason why is because, you know, this is going to give you an actual good quality card, unlike most of what I have. So I'm only going to get hit for 2 farm the block meter. You call them disco zombies or Michael Jackson zombies. I normally call them Michael Jackson because that is what they were sort of meant to look like, even in PvZ. Or maybe in the original. Maybe they had some copyright issue with it or something, but yeah, here they don't really feel like they're playing into that as much. I'm very low on health. And I can't do the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit yet. Attack's using it health instead of its attack. So it's 4/4 basically. You do this and we could buff it. So we're going to get the best of both worlds here. Just play the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit too. And then you won't be able to get rid of anything. They removed it because Mike died literally 2 months out, really, after they added it. But that's always weird. Like, they could leave it in as a tribute to him. But then I guess it's rubbing in his face like, oh, he's dead. He's a zombie in real life. But you don't have to look at it like that. Yeah, this is going to be sick in and of itself. So now here's why this is such a fun card to use. You know what? I'm even going to do what's probably going to trigger people. I'm going to put it in the water and miss out on one of the lanes. You know why? Because the only way to get rid of... Well, maybe not, but... Fuck. Okay, I won't do it this time, but the only way to get rid of it would be using a trick, and then tricks cost 6 more, so it's going to be so hard to do. I almost don't even know if it's the right thing to do. I mean, it probably is, but... I mean, 1 health is pretty disturbing, and the block meter is not going to save me. He might actually still win, but my legendary is clearly going to carry me. Because, yeah, if you're not exposing it to combat, they might have a really hard time dealing with it. Pretty low on cards. I have a decent amount, but pretty sick animation, too, that we haven't gotten to see very much. When I used to play PvZ heroes, I used to love water-based cards. Yeah, that is one of my favorite mechanics, but I guess I don't have too many of them. What the fuck? That's what I get for being a degenerate relying on legendaries, I guess. Yeah, let's look at that removal here. Even water chestnut. I guess I thought that was better than what it actually is, though. I was hyping it up too much. When I played like 100 games with it, and or like at least a dozen games, and never gotten any good value out of it. Guardian, let me guess, it's an event card too. I should just get this event card that I would have to wait for it to, and even if it was offered, I still wouldn't get it. That is going to be my criteria. Like what is a high, let's actually look. What is a high cost event card for zombies? It could be anything. It could be, you know, Bad Moon Rising, but they're not going to do that again. There's actually a semi-viable deck with it now. First hero made it. Well, I'm sure it's not centered around it, but it probably just has it in there. Okay, see you later. These are all the event cards. So yeah, I could get this one. I could get that. And there actually aren't that many high-cost ones. Maybe my standard is a bit too high. Like, I would get this one. I would get When a Gargantua destroys the plant, conjure a Gourmet card. I guess I missed my best. I missed my best chance to get exactly what I would have wanted. But how am I supposed to just pull 400 gems out of thin air like that? This guy would be pretty cool. Defensive end. Plant tricks cost 2 more. Or yeah, I was even looking for cards that mention stuff like that. Let's actually see. It also can be removed by Fruitcake. Yeah, I would make a deck that's built all around this, where everything tries to counter the cost of tricks to just, you know, remove tricks from the game, but it doesn't seem like they really support that mechanic too much. So let's go ahead and give... That's kind of why I was ranking them too. That's the order in which I'll play them. So even with being able to get and play Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, I still lose. Not that it's that much of a guarantee that you'll just auto win, but it is such a good card. That is weird though, because he was doing so good even without that, that you would think I'd just be in good shape. Although I am at rank 15, but then again, you're kind of facing people at various ranks no matter what. That guy's deck wasn't even that good. But when your deck isn't good, or at this low stage, you have to kind of try to aggro and just improvise and really force the issue. But my thing is I don't have much healing or anything in any of these decks. So even a lot of these games that I'm winning, I'm always pretty low myself, which means it scares me to try to play aggro myself, because I'm not going to have any way to protect myself. So if they just do a better job at it. Right through is the kind of thing I don't really care too much about. I got to just let the conjuration thing carry me. Move a plant, he gets +4. Not really the time to do it. This is okay, I guess. Now from that, you could potentially get any plant in the game, or any flower at least. So typically I've gotten very low cost stuff, but there's no guarantee that you have to. So that trading would actually still be fine. Yeah, the game just gets to a point where if you don't... kind of an awkward turn, because whatever you do is not going to be particularly good. You don't get the team up effect, you don't have a good curve play. You could move this away and just leave the deadly thing there, which I'm almost tempted to do, but kind of seems like a waste too. Somehow I'll just do that. That's just like one of those restless plays, but how dangerous could that 2/2 deadly thing be anyway? This is how you would play aggro. So now we're going to do a whopping 6 damage, but get blocked by the stupid thing. You got to just accept the fact that that's part of the game, which I always try to just blank out, but get rid of their block meters as quickly as possible, and then you'll be able to, you know, just finish them off. I just always assume it makes them invincible, because it's going to take forever to actually do that. I guess I'll just do this. It'll still trade in. Short of tricks, you get +2 this turn. But yeah, doing 300 damage to the heroes is pretty hard to do. But whatever. At least by next time, we'll definitely have 400. Then we can start buying packs again once I get to a higher threshold. So it only gives me the quest once every 2 weeks. Whether that's on deliberate or just because of the time that I play, like you have to wait exactly a week, and sometimes I play earlier, sometimes I play later. So it gives it to me once every 2 weeks, but I can only complete it once every 2 weeks because of how long it takes me to actually do that. But obviously that is your best way of getting gems, just untrickable, next door untrickable as well, one of my favorite mechanics. So now here we can just summon that guy. 3/6. What is she called? Parasol Zombie. All zombies get deadly. Okay. See, whatever extent I would try to go aggro, it just isn't going to work. Then he's gonna dominate on the board so bad. Almost feel like you should have used that on the... Or no, I guess it doesn't matter. Can't be heard, that's fine. It's not too big of a deal, but we should get rid of that 3/4 pretty quickly. I can't even do very well, and the fact that it has deadly makes it kind of uncomfortable. But, you know, what would be the right play there? Would you play this there? Because there's no other way to deal with it. You could just ignore it. You probably shouldn't do what I'm saying, but... Greystone, you get +2. I mean, I'm just doing it to try to trade into everything. But yeah, he loves the deadly mechanic, clearly. His deck does seem to be at least a little better. But like there, I should just ignore it and just go phase. But I could have actually done... or no, that one doesn't have team up. What good is Sunflower without team up? Or like, I love how this game flies in the face of the way the games actually work. Like, putting multiple things in a row. Okay, dude. Dombot, Sharktronic, this guy is almost rank 30. What do you expect? I mean, his block meter did run out in the sense that... I mean, you're going to have to do something here. Or I'm just dead too. Or no, I could have just gone face and then... I could just go face and then use my invincibility thing. That's sort of telegraphing the fact that I haven't. Or, I mean, I should have obviously already done it. +1 for the rest of the game. But when you just look at the size of his hand and everything, it does make it feel very... always rely on the block meter. So now even next turn, I could still do it. Or no, he still does have one more charge on the block meter too. So, like... any hope you have of rushing him down is just going to go out the window. So yeah, this would be like one of my favorite cards ever too. But there aren't too many cards, unfortunately, that do that. Anything that basically just stops tricks from being effective. Like, you think maybe his deck is a little bit good? Yeah, see, something like that I would get. There actually weren't as many high-cost event cards, though, as I would think. You could do this to try to get rid of... something. Whatever I do it with is just gonna trade in anyway. Such an annoying spot to be in. You could do this and then you could just try to save up for... Alright, I keep forgetting to actually use my goddamn thing. Whatever. The point is that his deck was probably at least a little better than mine, but you can still get them a little bit low. Okay, let's do... yeah, the point is I definitely won't get an event card today because I don't even want the one that's available, and I'm not going to have enough still. But at least I basically have the means to get enough, because just by doing this quest, you'll be able to... obviously have almost 400. You have 3 6-cost cards in your whole deck, and you get them all in the starting hand. Okay, 2, 3 could be good, although that's typically not good until later. Okay, that's obviously important to just use for the ramp of it. In fact, it almost might... no, I'll still... or actually, I will do it, because... we're going just full aggro. Face is the place. But the reality is that... you know, I do have a turn 2 play, so I may as well just do it. I don't feel like I have enough stuff that's even going to be team up. Because, you know, like, we're having trouble actually triggering that effect. All mushrooms get +1/+1. That'd be good maybe for next turn, but is there... nothing has team up. I'll just do it as a static play, I guess. We have all these like little peppered around skeleton synergies where like we have a couple mushroom cards, we have a couple sports zombies, we have a couple this and that, but it's not enough to actually make a committed proper deck with it. So that's where crafting would help you, even as much as it's also a blessing in disguise not being able to do it, because you know, I would just sort of waste and destroy my collection like you see me do so much in Hearthstone, where I could have had every card in the game probably by now over the years with how much I even play it sporadically. But no, I'll disenchant my whole collection to make like one deck or like a couple decks, and then I'll get bored of them and disenchant those and just do it all over again. So Like I just did that the other day to make all the imps in the history of the game. And that deck is so bad it was losing at bronze 10 or whatever, but I'm even the favorite in this matchup because he's only ranked 10, as if that should matter that much. Yeah, this unironically comes down to the whole anti-hero thing. I probably shouldn't bother doing that. I don't like it because all they have to do is just summon something there, and like it's not that hard to really play around it. And then your value is going to be subpar. Okay, so we'll do this guy. I feel like the slant is sort of underutilized and not really that special. There's a few effects that mention it, but for the most part, that's sort of uninteresting. The water is far more crazy. I'm just trying to think, like, in the course of a long game, I have too much of a mindset of a control player for this game, but, like, if you were to put the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit there, what are you ever going to do about it? Unless you summon something amphibious to try to kill it, or spend a ridiculous amount of mana on a removal card, it's going to be very hard to do anything about it. And you're still hitting 2 lanes, so it makes it almost kind of worth it. He's just already dead. Yeah, +3 this turn. Like, if he wins now, I'd be shocked, because the block meter is not even going to save him. Or, you know, I should almost make a bullseye-only deck, but I don't know how viable that would be, because again, some of these mechanics, there's only like a couple cards that are going to have it, so you could use this to try to rely on... I highly doubt that should be an issue, though. Like, what are you going to do if I do both of these? How could you possibly survive? This guy looks pretty awesome, actually. Celestial Custodian. When played in an environment, destroy a planet with 2 or less. There's no way you get out of this, dude. 6-5, but that should be pretty much it. You do that just to wave the red flag. Animation kept going even after you can see that. But yeah, I wish I could farm out enough event cards to get the things anyway, which you theoretically could do just by playing. You wouldn't have to even do the event, or you could do it like one day, but I mean, you could play like a million games, just do a 12-hour PvZ hero stream and try to do that. It would be nice to try to get to rank 20 for the first time, but we'd have to go on quite a crazy streak to do it. Yeah, let's look at Bullseye, and let's look at Untrickable again. So Untrickable is only a zombie mechanic, or it's not. Why do I feel like somebody said that before? Yeah, here you only have 3 cards for it. And here you only have like a few as well. 2, like why you gotta underutilize it that much, dude? Although again, Dark Matter Dragon Fruit kind of counts for that, even though it's not untrickable. It just feels like the cost of it is so convenient for that. Yeah, so like what would a Bullseye deck consist of? You could make a whole deck with it, but again, which of these stat values are actually good is the question. 1 mana 1/1, 1 mana 1/2, 2 mana 1/5. Like, you need a high attack value on top of it, otherwise it's just not worth it. Right, Keratos, Dino Roar. Why do I feel like I've gotten destroyed by this card so many times? Or is it something that just looks like that? They end up buffing it to infinity. Gloomshroom, pretty degenerate thing from the games that's so busted. Mushroom Evolution, do 3. The zombies here and next door. 5 mana 5/5. Bullseye. When you play a plant, deal 1 damage to zombie hero. Yeah, none of these are particularly interesting, though. 3/1, 1/2, 1/5. I'm just waiting for an attack value to jump out. Like, this guy is awesome. 5 mana, 7/5 with Bullseye. When I heard the plant hero, empty their block meter. Whoa, what the fuck? This should be my favorite card in the whole game. Why haven't I seen this a lot either? This is so amazing. So not only does it have Bullseye and it's not going to give them block meter, even if you have other minions that are, it'll completely keep screwing them over. Been crushing shield since the 9th century, has gotten pretty darn good at it. Wow, that is an underrated card. Bullseye, Frenzy, Armored 1, Overshoot 2, Anti-Hero 3. And of course, he's going to be an event card. This is like the Alakir of this game, where he has like just all the different ancillary effects. Wind Fury, Charge, Taunt, Divine Shield. It's like a hodgepodge type of card. We have Alec here at home. This is Alec here at home. Fuck. And that was never even that good of a card either, but he's so expensive. Frenzy Armored. I'd rather you just be a 6/6 with Bullseye only. How about that? This guy's a 6/6/7. Definitely zombies have better ones for this though. All Gargantuars have Bullseye, but even his statting is pretty good. Not even legendary or anything. 7 mana, 6/7 Bullseye. Make a random history zombie in random lane. Oh yeah, that is very good. We've seen that a few times. Yeah, that card really stands out. That's amazing. Okay, so we actually won one with Solar Flare. Seems like it's not giving me as many stars maybe for winning now, or I have to get like on a win streak. And now you're going to start losing stuff more. Or like when do they get rid of win streaks? Like around rank 40 or something. Which is a very hard thing for me to deal with as the resident win streak abuser in most of these games. That's the only way I have the patience or the time or the capability to ladder in them. Yeah, maybe 15 to 20 is the ceiling for this type of deck, but it's hard to really measure. Because sometimes I am beating like rank 30 players and stuff. It's just, I don't know how much that really means, or they could just be dicking around. In a way, this game is kind of in a unique state where people might get sick of the meta because it's been the same for a while, so they'll just start to play fun and interesting stuff just for the heck of it. They won't be as cynical as with games that, you know, the meta keeps changing, so they just keep following along with it. Or again, I'm amazed that people would stay interested in it for so long. I mean, this is a pretty good sequence of moves. You could buff it, and then you could put that out. Or you could do that first and then buff it, but that almost doesn't make sense. This guy tends to be better kind of later, but, you know, you could have like team up, team up, team up, team up, and then put him down as one of them, and then how much would I have? It'd be up to, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It's a big commitment to do that, but that is often my whole thing that I enjoy in card games is I'll take one mechanic and beat it like a dead horse and just like absolutely commit to that. So it doesn't matter if it has any other synergy or win condition. I'll just do like every single card is team up or every single card is amphibious, which in this game there's sometimes so few of some of these mechanics that you'd be using every single one in the game, or 4 of every single one in the game. So the idea is like, let's say their deck relies on tricks a lot, right? Like, oh, Professor Brainstorm or something. This might be the highest rank I've ever been. If I win one more game, it'll be the highest rank I've ever been. Lord of the Rings reference. But no, it's like, what was I saying? Yeah, like if they have a trick-based deck and you have only cards that counter tricks, you're going to just destroy them. Not just because, oh, your deck is better or something, but because it's so hard to counter certain things that you commit to it so hard. So some games you'll get destroyed because they're not relying on that, but that's always like a fun trade-off. There'll be that one time where you don't just win the game, but you get like a moral victory, like, wow, you really made them feel completely powerless and there was nothing they could do. Which is almost like a card game fetish of mine. Team up, heal your hero for 2. Not really the time to even do that, but I guess I could do it. Or you should almost put that in front. Obviously, you can't overheal. It is interesting how these hero cards come into play. Like, they are a big deal and they are pretty fun at times. But the problem with them is just the fact that you're not going to be able to... Oh, that's a very good play. You're not going to be able to basically... I forgot what I was going to say, man. He's only rank 11. As if it should make that big of a difference. It really doesn't feel like it is a big deal in this game because they're sort of they sort of match you against just anybody they feel like too. Yeah, that should be fine. This guy rarely sticks around. He's not even a bad card, but I don't have a lot of card draw in my decks, and I also don't have a lot of ways to protect it otherwise. So much as I was talking trash about Solar Flare at the beginning, now she's going to do the best. he's already done the best because it wasn't a very high standard. That still won't kill it, so it doesn't matter. But I guess it'll stick around. So it might even be worth it to use this because then you won't let him do anything to you. Or no, I mean, that'll still trade in, but if you want to commit to this so bad, you know what? It seems stupid, but that lane could become very difficult for him to deal with, so it's a hard commit. The Smash has sort of been an underdog who's done really well, though, too. He always had, like, the lowest cost cards of anybody that I have in a collection that only had, like, oh, wow, my highest cost card is 6. For him, it was like, my highest cost card is 4. Like, you can play it as aggro as you want, but it's a little bit silly. But he was still doing pretty good despite that. This always bothers me how, like, he's in team-up position, but there's nobody else there, so he should almost go back. Strike through. I mean, the fact that he has team-up means you could still protect him. Deal 1 to each zombie might even be worth it, because then it'll end up trading into that still. You could do both of those. I'm making kind of weird plays this time a little bit. Like the only AoE we've ever used, and maybe the first time I've used it too. We were trying to really milk this Dino Roar thing. One of those, he'll still die though. There's no point in even doing that. That was such an objective misplay moment. Dino Roar is like one of those mechanics that just rewards you for doing nothing. Right, oh wow, draw a card. Like obviously you can play into it, but I always find those mechanics funny. Just, you know, oh yeah, I totally wasn't going to draw anyway. I mean, we can keep trying to do it this way, but I can still trade this in. Conjure a card, which you should always do that first. Whenever you're going to draw or whenever you're going to conjure, you play it first in case whatever you get from it is going to change what the rest of your turn is. Conventional card game wisdom, whether it be in any card game or it could be like a discover effect. Deal 2. I mean, I almost feel like the amphibious is more dangerous, but he's gonna end up killing me now. I'll just ignore it the whole time and then we'll be screwed. But yeah, this is a moment of satisfaction too, just seeing his hand burn out. So now if I just survive a little bit, I'll be in good shape. Yeah, that's still fine. So that whole commitment to the Dino Roar was actually pretty nice. I don't even really see why I need the Sunflower. And even though as much as I like this card, it really needs team up to be effective. Because otherwise it's just too easy of a target. Royal Plant, fine. On par with my Squash. S tier card, because this is the only hard removal in the whole game besides that pretty much. Everybody likes that birthday cake one, but it still does a fixed damage value, so only going to do so much. Punish Shroom. When a mushroom is destroyed, do 2 damage to... Or you know what you could do is you could make a mod that translates this game exactly over to PvZ, where every single plant and every single zombie works like they do here, and all these different types are added. And you could even use like the visuals kind of the same way. That'd be kind of a cool idea, which maybe somebody's done. Let's see. Heal your hero 1 for each flower, which is pretty good, but I don't have to really worry about it. Or here, we'll even protect that guy. The way that some sadistic people are always like, oh, put the sunflowers in front of your plants instead of behind, because then, you know, they tank for them. But that's like really disingenuous and mean-spirited towards them because, you know, you sort of don't have the ability to respect what's actually... Don't bite the sun that grows you. Right, playing with 4 last, fine. Wait, I forgot what his effect even did, but apparently it killed that guy. Nice. Yeah, this is what you get rewarded with when you hard commit to one thing. So I don't mind it. This is pretty good. They're both pretty good. And with 12 mana, like what the hell else would I ever do with it? This is a pretty good case scenario for him. 8-1. Yeah, 14 is the max that you could get it to, or actually, it could be 16, 18. But you know, some cards should have like double team up, and if you put too many things there, like a third thing, it'll block off their ability to play anything there until they destroy it with a removal. all these kind of interesting interpretations because the board is so small compared to what you'd expect in terms of, you know, it doesn't match the size of the lawn and stuff. See, everybody has these moments to shine. It's Solar Flare's moment to shine. Ha ha ha. Just because I wasn't expecting it, but... 2, 5, 5, 3. It's not like I've even changed this deck much in a while, or we didn't get anything super new or good for it. But that's the one time that legendary actually stood out. On a day where I play Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, where that's not actually the best legendary play. Surprising. Or like we lose as soon as I do it. But it's not like it's fault. It just somehow that guy rushed me down too much. We'll do this just as a static 2-2. That's kind of the subliminal goal today. If I don't get to rank 20, I have to delete my account. I could almost do something challenge like that, but I'll do that more towards the end. If I don't get to rank 50 such and such month, whenever I decide to do that. Or whatever, once I get more heroes, I'll do something along those lines. But the idea is that +1 when another professional zombie gets hurt. You know, we could maybe get to rank 20, which would be a very nice accomplishment here. Not to jinx it, but it seems almost easier today a little bit. But again, all it takes is one loss to sink you with any of these heroes, because then I won't be able to play anymore. Don't give the zombies a chance. Nobody likes them anyway. I don't like their playstyle sometimes. I don't like the abundance of tricks and all. 100 Signs card gets Bullseye. You do the AoE, which would be okay. I mean, it's the -1 attack that's almost better, because it'll make most of his stuff useless. There's not much I can really do here. Otherwise, I should just do it. I'm gonna play this against something that's gonna have like 0 or 1 attack, or maybe I should trade in there. What does it do? Like a 1/1 plant with no abilities, or I should still just even ignore it because that effect is never gonna go away. So. This is actually one of the best ways to cuck somebody. Like, now, unless I kill these, so I won't even ever target them, and then they can't plant anything there because you just block their spaces out. That is a kind of an interesting deck strategy that you could have. Okay, this should be fine. I do like the little excess healing. But the problem is, again, if he has too much card value in cycling, that's the main lose condition here, just that these decks burn out way too quick. So many good Solar Flare puns. Just make sure you don't burn out. Let her have her chance to shine. Okay, we're in okay shape. Let's see if this anti-hero thing's going to be any good. So, again, you could just ignore this lane for the rest of the game. Because he's never, unless he buffs it or has a team up, you can't kill your own thing. So that's hilarious. It's just such an annoying thing. I would make a deck just built around that just to troll people. Ojama Troll. So, I mean, I don't really want to even do that, but whatever I play is going to cost the whole amount anyway. Although I guess he's sort of doing the same thing to my plan. So you should almost be able to use this on your own just if it's that much of an annoyance too. Let's not do the anti-hero yet. Maybe there'll be a time where it's actually useful later. But it ends up becoming a 9/5, which I can't complain about, but I'd rather it just be better statted. Just be like a 6 mana 6/6 or 7/7. Yeah, what is like the best value card like that in this game? Like a 4 mana 7/7, 5 mana 10/10. There's got to be one that's just sort of a meme for that reason. It might have some sort of negative effect, but it would be better statted than what its value would show otherwise. Or I mean, the 5 mana 10/10 for Magic doesn't even have a negative effect to it. That could be a little bit difficult to deal with. But what you could do is use a little bit of this. Right, so at least you would trade in there. And then we have 5, which I guess this would be fine. Make it a nice little 4/1. I always think it's going to include itself, so I thought it'd be a 6/1, but I mean, can't be hurt. Okay, dude. Can't play around everything. Now, that is actually going to be annoying to get rid of. He's down to 7. He'll be down to still 7. That's why I stopped looking for lethal at some point, where I just get fed up with how, like, if I had done the anti-hero thing, maybe that would have killed him, but it actually wouldn't have, because he still would have gotten the shield thing from it. Or now he's paying me back in kind with that same thing. Let's see. I mean, you could do this and then destroy that. So that's like fishing for lethal in a nice way. That even as much as I'm mocking the card in the mechanic, unless you have a direct response right now, you're dead. Because that is going to obviously bypass whatever block meter shenanigans you have in mind. Oh my god. Okay, it's still a decent value thing. Yeah, anti-hero is just dumb for that reason. Because you're gonna... a lot of these mechanics you're gonna pay a price for. Like, they'll be worse statted than they would be otherwise. And especially in this low stage of play, you're always gonna feel that way because, you know, you don't really care about those kind of effects. You're just trying to... I mean, if I destroy that, I assume... Oh my god. I assume that would be good enough. 4-3, it doesn't matter. Destroy a plant, though. Oh my god. You do like 5 and 3, which would still theoretically be enough. Right? If I destroy that, I would theoretically hit you for 3. Obviously, you might have an answer for it. Or no, okay, fuck. I still won't be able to. Imagine if he wins now, which he actually might. I should have done the guy with the glasses, but again, I'm just assuming no matter what I do. What happens when you try to play for aggro anti-hero type BS? It's just not necessarily good enough. Then they're going to beat me in the long run. Obviously, the block meter is not going to save me there either. Now, this seems cute and all, but now my... Oh, shit. He has -2, -2. I mean, if you're going to do it, you would almost have to do it now, but... you won't have mana otherwise. Yeah, see, look at his late game play. This is exactly my type of thing. Where it's like, oh, this is mid-range, although technically it's more like control. You just put the clam down and the game is over. Now, if you were able to outlast this, so this is like me aggro versus them mid-range, there is no control because control would beat what he's doing too, just by outlasting this, and then he won't have anything left. So I'm obviously dead. Yeah, whatever, when they put everything back in a gravestone is very impactful. Just, they become immune to everything. Although there are certain things that just let you destroy the gravestone itself, which also destroys the zombie, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we'll move on to the zombies. Let's actually look at that. I keep having all these curiosities about certain cards. Like, what is something that looks brilliantly statted? It's got to be like a 2-mana 4/4 or something crazy. Oh yeah, there is that one that somebody kept playing. It like gives it like the Pumpkin King guy. 2/4, 3/4, 9. Some of them have interesting effects, but as far as just like good statting, 5-mana 4/4, 5-mana 6/1, 5-mana 7 health with some weird thing like it attacks with it or something. Yeah, like even this guy is pretty good. 7-mana 5/10 with armor and other bonuses. So I do like that. Not too many of the cards I have really have that sensibility. Or wait, this looks like exactly the one that I have, though. Did they recycle the appearance of it? That's weird. It looks almost exactly the same. Yeah, none of these are particularly well statted either. 5-mana 5/2. That's actually the event card right now, isn't it? 6-mana 4/4. There really aren't as many high-cost cards, though, as you would just expect. I guess I can't complain that much as a new player-ish, because I kept saying, oh, my collection has low-cost cards, or, you know, I don't have too many high-cost things, but I guess it does exemplify that, too, because most of the ones that are going to be high-cost are going to be legendary, so they're going to be super hard to get. That cucks you even worse as a, you know, as a newish player. This game is very free-to-play friendly because I can't imagine it would take that long to collect a lot of the cards in the game compared to other games. Like trying to do that in Magic. Oh, I want to collect every green card in the game. Well, good luck because it'll take you the rest of your life basically to do it because, well, at least at the pace that I go. So here, 10 mana, 6/6. Like it's such weird statting, but obviously some of these are going to have very good effects. So nothing really stands out too much. This guy's actually not bad. The Soul Patch and this dude. 5 mana, 4/7 with also good effects on top of it. Or even having armor values that are pretty high is pretty fun. I'd be the type of guy who plays that Knight of the Living Dead without even using the king. Right? I would just play it as a straight up card, which you can do. 4/4, 4/3, 4/4, nothing crazy. 5 mana, 5/7 is obviously very good. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. 6 mana, 7/8. And amphibious. There's no downside to it. It's just a well-statted card. Wow. What a crazy transformative idea. Like, it's just better statted than all of this. This guy's obviously insane. And then, when destroyed, gain an Octo Zombie. Which, this is pretty amazing, isn't it? Because you could just keep playing it over and over then. There's not too many effects in the game like that. Infinite value like a Nubarok or whatever. Amphibious Frenzy, when destroyed, gain another one, and then when that's destroyed, gain another one. Like if I was in the crafting mindset, this would be something I would definitely use. Because imagine that, I have such a hard-on for high-cost cards, but then that'll give you an unlimited value of them. How would you bypass that effect? There is no like silence ability or whatever. Like it's not too common that you'd be able to really negate the effect, so you just have to deal with it. How would any of these low-rated players deal with that? Right? They can barely deal with like 1 8/8 or 2, and they have a little bit of removal, so you just get clowned by it. This guy looks pretty awesome. This is almost how the fireman should look because it shows like how they died. Right? He burned to death in a fire, the firefighter. This is the 5/7 guy. When it hurts, empty the block meter. I like that one a lot. So many cards I wish I could get, but I can't be greedy because I got very lucky with what I got. That's why it makes it so meaningful in a sort of a Nuzlocke sense. You have to go with whatever you get because whatever you get then is going to be super impactful. Like, wow, it's so amazing that you got that legendary or whatever it was. And you have to make the best of what you have. Otherwise, it would just be way too easy. I don't even mind metagaming or net decking or even taking people's advice, whereas normally I don't like to do those things in any card game. But here, I have to make the best of what I have. So if I happen to have what it takes to make one of those decks, which I doubt I would, you know, any sort of... They seem to shy away from just raw statted things. Like, they have so many high-cost cards here, 6, 7, 10, but none of them are particularly well statted. They tend to go for effects instead. I wish this was an event card and then I would get it, but it's really doesn't even seem that good. The one that's better is just Bad Moon Rising because you would just want to take like a 1/1 and turn it into a Gargantuar. That's obviously just doing it from nothing, but that is super expensive. None of this stuff is particularly well statted either. Well, on your hand, this gets +2 when a zombie is destroyed. More voice acting than Magic the Gathering. Wow. Such a weird decision that they never decided to do that. Or they do voice act the Planeswalkers, but... Primeval Yeti. Zombie Evolution, all zombies get +2/+2. 6 mana, 6/5. 6 mana, 6/5. 7 mana, 5/5. But with the 2 armor, which is one of my favorite things to potentially use, but there's only one thing in the game with it. And the only other thing just that mentions it is the king who makes... does he give you copies of them in your hand, or does he just summon them? He might just summon them. Or no, it's like at the end of the turn, maybe he does that. When revealed, move a plant. This guy is unusually statted. 7 mana, 5/9 is not too bad. There isn't really a card that stands out too much. Maybe the best one for this effect. 6 mana, 7/6. Hide all Gargantuars and Gravestones. Obviously, very good effect. The best one might have just been that 7 attack one over here somewhere. That one I like, but what was it? 5 mana, 5/7. Oh yeah, 6 mana, 7/8. And it's just so simple and to the point. Like, it's good value and there's nothing else to it. There's no downside. It's not even a legendary. most of the cards in this game don't really follow that sort of design pattern. Okay, so we got to go switch sides. And so we'll do it in the order that I was even saying. I'll give Smash the honors. Right, that's what I want to see too, not because it's really relevant, because it's not up to me what event cards they offer you, but I wanted to see, like, within my criteria, what is the only event cards that would make sense. It would have to be a high cost zombie card, so it would have to at least be like 6. It could be the football guy who has the effect of tricks cost 2 more, which I like a lot. It could be this guy, make a mystery egg in a random lane, 5 mana 6/5. It could be Bad Moon Rising. Again, I doubt they'll repeat the same one, though. It'll have to wait another year. The game will go offline before that happens. What a stupid decision. See, so if I had that in my back pocket, I certainly would have used it there, right? If I had the 400 gems. Frenzy, when a Gargantua destroys a plant, conjure a gourmet card. So yeah, those are all fine. It would have to be one of those or something close to it. Now let's push for rank 20. Solar Flare did pretty good, all things considered there. But I still think Green Shadow holds the record for win streak in this game, which I forget exactly what it was. It felt like it was at least 7 or 8 or something. Yeah, what a perfect hand. But again, it's sort of the meme of him just only having low-cost cards in the first place. It's not really a big surprise that he would start a hand with that. That's often my rotten luck sometimes. I'll have mostly low-cost cards, but then I'll get my highest-cost cards to start. And you can't even really... Okay, we could do the pet synergy here. Whether you should try to attack into that or not, I can't say. I shouldn't. I should just go full aggro. Just smash their face. The only classes I've really played super aggressively on, though, it feels like, are Solar Flare and Infinity. Everyone else, I pretty much try to play a more mid-range control, like just try to control the board and stuff. Each point in your hand becomes a 4/4. But it doesn't mean that it changes their effects or whatever. I mean, I could just ignore it. Is he really going to let these synergies roam free? Now we could do 2 of the mice guys, and that would allow you to buff these even more. It's not like we have a super good synergy with this deck. It's just, that is quite a crazy card. You could just make a super low cost type of deck. He gets +2 in Frenzy. That's actually wait. Oh no, that won't matter. You know what? I'll still do it just because. Just go face. Trying to go a little bit too far aggro, but isn't that kind of a crazy thing to start with too? Because you can't really do anything about it. So we could use both of these, but can't use them in the same lane, so it almost doesn't even matter. The walnut should get -1 attack now from that, so that it'll start healing me every time it hits me. I always say that with certain mechanics, like if your stats can go in the negatives, it really should start to heal your opponent. I can't remember if any card game ever does that, but that is a funny way to interpret it. Yeah, you think this 4/4 value is going to be better than what he had in the first place? Of course it is. If I can just survive this, I might be in good shape. The fact that it's so cheap to play means that he'll burn them out quickly, though. We would almost have had enough still to kill that guy, but not quite. It's unfortunate. Fuck. That trades in. Like, that was still a pretty good play, all things considered. Now I'm just completely out of stuff. This was a pretty unfair bullshit kind of start, if you ask me. We'll do that to try to trade in. We'll do this to maybe survive the dude. We'll only get hit for 4, or he'll summon another 4/4. Fuck. That at least traded in favorably. This guy's at least still alive. As am I. Saved by the very tricks I swore to destroy and not use. We should do a no trick run. Anytime I have to use a superpower, I just die instead. You could use that stupid bowling ball on maybe that thing. But at least he's burned out of the ability to He's burned out of the ability to rely on the 4/4s, but I've just burned out of everything too. Everything is traded in. We're both super low on cards. I can even get rid of the 5/5/2, which I'm going to have to do. Give me something low cost, which most of my stuff is, but if you just summon anything, I'm dead. How amazing. Even as I was hyping up Smash, basically whatever I say, the opposite is true. So Infinity has been dog shit. He sucked the whole playthrough, so that means he's going to do amazing. How much do we actually lose from this? Yeah, there's no way we'd be able to do that. Even in 2 weeks, I might have trouble. But at least we're right at that threshold. Basically, if I did that quest, then we'd be there. And then we start buying packs again. So it wasn't that big of an interlude. It's like a couple episodes worth, which might seem like a long time, but that's just because they're so short and irregular and stuff. You talk trash and they try to correct you, like, oh, Super Brains is garbage, Solar Flare is garbage. Maybe not categorically, but just in terms of their innate, like, whatever I have right now. So let's try to go aggro with it, which is really what you should be doing in most cases anyway. Move zombie gets +1. You don't really even want that either. The problem is we have too much removal in this hand already, so I feel like I never benefit from the effect of this gravestone thing anyway. I just don't have enough of them, or I don't. Now that just tells you he's a bad player, because you never do that unless he's as aggro-minded as me. So he has to spend the mana while he has it, because he's just going to spam summon stuff for the rest of the game. The Congo one I should just save. I haven't really been using amphibious stuff as much as I would like to. I like how when I first started playing the game, that was immediately what stood out to me. Like, I love this amphibious mechanic. As much as I hate the flying mechanic in Magic, just sort of stuff that subverts the normal expectations of being able to block or survive stuff. You can finish that guy off for sure. Not really a big fan of stuff like that. All these little damage values that you do are sometimes not worth it at all. Like even that Grapes of Wrath. When a plant hurts the zombie hero, and out of the grapes with the little, you grew it up. You could make a whole jam you all to hell. Like, when a plant hurts the zombie hero, draw a card. That's not even really that big of a deal though, compared to some of the effects. Okay, he doesn't seem like his deck is too crazy, but we'll see. I'm just missing, like, you need 3 or 4 cards that are 6 cost and up or something, and that is going to be the ticket. That's actually an amazing time to do it. So unless he has some kind of AoE or crazy thing, that's not really very worth it. It hits you for 8 plus 5, but, or no, the block meter actually shouldn't even save you here. Okay, that's kind of the way you want it to go, but it's not always going to happen like that. This is the one that I think Lemon was even telling me to make, but, you know, mine was kind of similar. It's just the same idea. I think what it encouraged me to do, though, when he did that was just like, okay, fine, I'll play it full aggro and don't even pretend like you're trying to do anything else. Because the point is, don't play it like you're going to play for mid-range or control, because it's not good enough to do that. So if it gets to that point, you're going to lose anyway. So you may as well just go face. And if it fails, you'll be like, oh, you shouldn't have gone face, but there was nothing else you could have done anyway. That's not really worth it. I almost want to do the anti-hero first, because it's been so good to me, clearly. I don't really see the point, but it just sort of forces something to go there. Which on turn 1, you wouldn't think. Either they're not going to have anything, or they're going to have to throw something away into it. Sometimes they can get out of hand if they just don't have an answer for it. And we got 2 more chances to try to get to rank 20 or to complete the daily quest, both of which are not really going to happen. That's kind of a perfect response for it, actually. This sort of playthrough sort of shows you the value of a card game, though, sometimes, in the sense that you basically you know, people like rush through them, or they try to metagame it so early. Either they spend money or they play it a lot more. But like, look at how long it would take me to even get a complete collection in a game like this that isn't even going to get consistent support, that doesn't even have that many cards compared to most games in existence out there. So even this could be a fulfilling long-term experience that you do sort of as a background thing. But people just love to rush through stuff and then complain there's not enough to do with it. It happens all the time in MMOs and stuff. Like, imagine a world where World of Warcraft Classic is said to be, oh, there's not enough to do, or oh, it's too easy. This is a game that has like millions of hours of content, and people still want to complain because because it's so complicated, they kind of concede themselves to that, and then they become complete metagame not net deck, but like borrowed knowledge tryhards. So they want to act all smart, like, oh, we know things that we looked up because it's been studied for like 20 years. Wasn't it even like I was in that good of a spot. But yeah, you're dominating them in the early game. Little does you know, I don't really have a mid or late game. But that's happened a couple times today, actually. So it could just be we're winning because of server issues more than anything. But that still cucks my ability to do the daily quest. Win streak bonus. Win streak abuser is back. Wow, this is the best chance we are going to have to get to rank 20, and if I don't do it, I should actually make it that way, though. If I lose on Infinity and the other guy, I have to stop playing. We have to make these count. Now, this guy's only a measly rank 9. We're going to be on the receiving end of that thing I said before, like, weird... Wait, what's happening? I'm building up a reputation that I'm just too good, so nobody even wants to mess with me. There must be something going on today, but I'll still take it. Farming those gems, everything's going good. I'm not too confident in Super Brains, though, so we have to make this one really count. Or maybe Infinity is just so good that he's gonna... Everybody's using like the same busted deck with him, which of course I'm not, but... You can't play around that which nobody uses in the first place, right? They can't metagame against my deck because it's gonna be so random hodgepodge cards that nobody would ever use, because you just have them by sheer accident. At least you're guaranteeing that you're getting low-cost hands, because that's almost all I have in here. The Art of War by the Tree of Wisdom. The Art of... What could be a plant-related pun? The Art of Gardening, but it has to like sound like war. We'll do that first. It seems bizarre to do that when you have the chicken, but I do like this idea. You sort of force him to deal with it. He could do that simple 2 damage trick, where everybody does that as a response. How perfect. Fuck. Yeah, that's going to be our finisher play in the water there. And the fact that we can do both of these is pretty good value. Like, this guy is pretty well statted, all things considered. A 1-mana 1/3 with an upside effect. That's the kind of stuff that I look for. You would expect him to be 2 cost, basically. Or even the chicken is very good value. Because if you follow that logic, it's a 1-mana 2/2. So if it was a 5-mana, it'd be a 10/10. If it was a 10-mana, it'd be 20/20. Like, they don't normally follow that as you go along. So I don't know if he did that in some strategic way to try to prevent me from killing something or what. We'll still trade in there. And this isn't particularly good on its own. It's just, you know, we'll deal with it. Or we can just deal with it with the conga thing. We could trade into this one and then kill that one with the effect. This could get out of hand. In fact, I think I remember early on getting destroyed by somebody who used this to just spam damage at me, but like that one weird guy, the zombie who has like a similar effect. That effect is pretty awesome looking too. Or I should have put my guy... Fuck. I should have put that thing there. I'll even hit your face, because I don't know which one of these is really going to be good. He's even talking trash about the thing, but now it's not going to do anything for me. I mean, now it's going to kill me. Yeah, I was relying on the effect of this, but I shouldn't have done that. I should have relied on it to kill the other one. I almost don't even want to do the deadly one, because this would trade in pretty favorably to both. Disco Zombie. I'll still call it Michael Jackson Zombie, and of course it's not meant as any disrespect, but really the ones in PvZ feel more fitting for that, because they even do the moonwalk and everything too. It's not very subtle that they're trying to reference that. So they either never removed it from that, or somehow my version of the game just still has that. Yeah, which is the coolest effect, that flower that shoots the laser beam, the 3-5, this guy who does the effect, or the other guy who's Dark Matter Dragon Fruit. I feel like I didn't even notice the animation the first time I used that. She's not really burning out as much as you would think. Let's just do that, and then we'll wait. This is the one instance where anti-hero is actually good, because they might not be able to deal with it. Everybody's not always going to have amphibious stuff, and so, and even if they do, it'll be like a 3-2 and it'll get run over. Yeah, that alone could just determine the outcome of the game if you just let that hit you a couple times. He gets +3. Yeah, let's go all in, since I've even saying that. As if anti-hero isn't enough. He even gets that little effect to try to damage it, but that might be the best he can do. Let's actually ignore that. We can just use some other thing on it, like the removal, or I don't even really have to. As long as you can poke him with a little bit of damage. In fact, I would even hit you in the face with this just to pop the block meter, pop your ice block, basically. Pop the block could be said literally in that way, because you're not saying, you know, the block meter instead. It's kind of hard to explain, but Mole, Kale, each other plant transforms. Like, none of this stuff even matters. Just do that. Well, unless it's something that's going to deal with what he has. Something that's going to heal him. I guess that doesn't entirely work too. Fuck. I probably would have been better off doing that, but he would have still gotten the card from the block meter is kind of the point. Now here's a crucial moment of truth, that if I can't end it now, then the tables could turn, but then again their hand is sort of dried out. Little bonus damage, but they're still going to get another block. It's such an insane moral victory when you get to... Imagine if you had a deck with only amphibious minions, how hard it would be for them to keep dealing with it over the course of a game. It doesn't mean you even have to play them there if they're well statted. Like, this isn't too bad. 2-mana 3-1. But unfortunately, the block meters thing is still going to happen. You may as well do Deadly just to clear those suckers out. They're going to be completely done for. I do like that card a lot, too. I mean, if you make this comeback, dude, you deserve it. Bronze rank 7. Trying to clown me here. On the biggest win streak of our life, but it's not... Wait, how could we be on... I guess just because a couple of people conceded. Okay, we should be in good shape now. Clearly, removal is going to dry out. Or, like, it'll get to the point where you actually end up, you know, clearing out all 3 block meters. Play a plan, make a 1-1, but you only have one thing left to do. That was a pretty epic game, though, actually. Yeah, let's get a couple more people to concede out so we actually get to rank 20. Yeah, see, the unlife of the party guy was really hard for him to get rid of. There's always going to be something like that that sticks out. Let's look at the theoretical way that I could... Ranked up to what? Are we almost at 20? If we win one more, that would do it. Possibly, because of the crazy win streak. Gotta make this count, so this will actually be a checkpoint I wasn't expecting to get to. But, you know, I've been at rank 15 before, but then the season usually ends at that point. In fact, I thought it would have ended last week. So now, yeah, I want to look at one thing. Like, how many amphibious cards would there be if you were to have, like... If you were trying to rely on that entirely? You would have to combine it, obviously, from a couple of these. Not too bad. It's amazing that you have 0 in some of these. You should always have 1 or 2. Kabloom, Mega Grow, Solar. Most of them are not particularly well statted, but... Hey, Thiago, how's it going? 4-3-4-3-4. So yeah, you could just overwhelm them with so many of them that they're not going to be able to deal with all of them. But then it just raises the question of what you're doing on the rest of the board. Like, you would still have to occupy them. This guy reminds me of the guy from Hellraiser who has the glasses. That one guy who never says anything. I can't remember what his name is, but like in the first one, they didn't even give them names. Yeah, you do at least have an adequate amount there. Let's look in the zombie ones. Gonna turn into one of my favorite mechanics for sure. I just don't have enough stuff to really use for it. You basically have this guy and the cattail for the same purpose. But this just shows a straight up worse value because that's a 2-mana 3/2, right? With amphibious, this is a 3-mana 3/2. What's even the point? This guy's obviously a god. I love the value of this. Some of these are okay. A lot of them they're just flying over it. I love how the one flavor text even says he's not amphibious because he's afraid of flying over water. It even addressed my question about it. Can you play with me? Sure. What's your username? It's too bad we won't be able to get to that though, no matter what kind of crazy win streak we go on. Be the epic final battle for rank 20, which we would still have another chance after this, but that is kind of better than I expected was going to happen. We'll get a bunch more gems for that too. But of course, within this short month-long season, I'll never be able to... Are these like little badges or card backs or something you can use? Like, I don't know what all this means. Where do I get to show these things off? Rank League Season. I don't know what all that means. There's nowhere you can like customize cosmetics. Huh. Or maybe it's just username. Let me try to add that. Iago Gamer X. But yeah, sometimes this bugs out. Actually, I haven't played a friend in a while. So Fox stuff is always like at mythic rank or legend rank, whatever you want to call it. He's rank 38, 45. It does sort of rank your friends by that. Maybe I could give Green Shadow another shot here, but actually let's give Infinity the honor, I guess. Rank 33, nice. Is that supposed to be diamond or platinum? I guess I'm at platinum probably. Or no, I'm supposed to be at silver because we're going into gold. Platinum is always the most underwhelming thing because it's just like, wow, it's just a different shade of silver. What you don't play? What do you mean? I don't think I've seen anybody who has been rank 50 besides that one guy, Fox. Sorry, you don't speak English? Oh, that's fine. Or you mean you don't play that? I could play as a... could play as a plant instead. Looks like your friend is busy right now, trying again later. It's like just a guilty pleasure to try the dark matter dragon fruit again. Even the deck is named after that, even though it's just not really built around that. It's amazing that people would do this game as a one and only category that they do, or like what they're known for. Like PvZ Try Hard or somebody. I don't know if that's all they do, but I'm sure they play the actual PvZ games themselves. But some people are like known for this game and they played it like only this and streamed only this for like years, which I find interesting because that is sometimes the best thing to do, like commit to one game. But I somehow never used to do that. Now I have even less of that than ever because like 7 days in a week I stream every day, but I do a different category each one. But instead before it was like I would do it by category, but not by Like, I would do permadeath runs, but of various things. It wouldn't just be one game or one series. Or I would do hard modes, but again, not as just one game or one series. It could be various things. Or wait, why is the Podfather even in here? I think I just have one of those in there, but he's almost trying to sabotage me. That could be a chess title too. I'll play a line he can't refute. I'll make him a trade he can't refute. Black-Eyed Pea is pretty good. Almost think of it as legendary in a way, but it's just more so one of those things that's going to bait out removal. And if they're going to be degenerately spamming tricks, then it's right up my alley too. It's not even like I'm using stuff out of preference, though. It's because we play a P. Yeah, but how many Ps do I really have? I guess just the 3-peater could be good for that. Let's just ignore completely what he's doing. Yeah, look how beefed up this guy's actually getting, though. So that kind of telegraphs that he doesn't have removal for it, or maybe he just doesn't want to use removal for it. So now, I guess I'll continue to keep ignoring that. I can't really use this. Or this is Leafy, isn't it? You could almost do these two together just to conjure something. Maybe it doesn't seem worth it, but whatever I make is going to be probably game-changing. 5 mana 4/1, or it's at least fun to get chances to try stuff that you normally wouldn't use. Amphibious free zombies next door. All these effects that trigger, you know, in 3 lanes, but that are also amphibious, so they tempt you to basically desire to put them in the water anyway and lose one of the lanes to attack in. Got off to a reasonable start. But now it could turn difficult. They certainly have a lot of cards in their hand. Have to be careful. We could freeze that, which is pretty valuable play. If we freeze it, what else do I want to do? I only have 5 mana. Try to maybe share the love with the rest of the stuff. Freeze that. Draw a card. Or you should always draw cards first, as I just said like 5 seconds ago. So that actually should be lethal. Yeah, that's surprising too when he had so many cards in his hand. Good game. That's one of those instances where the block meter doesn't actually surprise me too much. But even then, we get denied on the ability to play Dark Matter Dragon Fruit. Let's try to go. I think if I just win this, I'll get to rank 20. That was even more aggressive than normal. I got kind of lucky with the bean guy. Oh, here we go. The rank 34. This will be hard. 2, 2, 2. I don't mind this, I guess. If I get everything out there, then I'll be able to buff them up. It's just there's a certain burnout phase that, like, if you don't win super fast. This was a pretty good recommendation, actually, by Lemon. I forgot what exactly he changed from what I was using, but basically the main thing is he got rid of that gimmick of the dancing ones that I thought would be useful. And there's still some of the dancing stuff in here, but not for that purpose, I guess, at least. You have the 4/1, or you have this when it hurts. That pirate gets +1/+1, which would include itself. But you could just take a gamble and try to do it, I guess. Roy Gravestone, I don't know if that's really worth it at this stage, but okay. Let's see. He's playing kind of slow and defensive, which I kind of wouldn't mind. But you know what we should do? Yeah, go for the 4/1 and the anti-hero together. That makes it kind of a hard decision. 2 4/1s on turn 3. Amazing. I always like these kind of oddly statted cards, too. It seems bad, but it commits so hard to one way. Okay. Like, it's fine, though. That was still a costly turn. So that's fine. You still end up taking 4 anyway. Now, again, I should just ignore that and then 4. But see, you feel obligated to do multiple things still. Because you don't really want to be in a position where you don't play on curve like that. Yeah, untrickable. He's just going to have some crazy shit, but at least that's something that's not going to kill it. Conjure card that's cost 4 or more. Team up. Untrickable, but at least it doesn't give other things untrickable too. Be a good time to actually play Deadly, I think. You could do this and then give all zombies Deadly, or I guess I won't be able to this turn. But this is worth it because our board is full. But even though you have the block meter cheese, it's more so what's in your hand that's worrying me. Lance here can't be hurt. Now, do I have an environment in this deck or not? Because I don't know. And if I don't, then I'm screwed. Because I'll never be able to deal with that. That is a really triggering card. It's one thing, okay, you do 2 damage to everything in there and I can't do anything about that, but I would have liked to have been able to do that, but I just couldn't. Now I'll still be able to try. When an Im hurts the plant hero, this will at least survive that for the time being, and you'll still be able to play the other thing. No point in doing the Michael Jackson, dude. Should probably be dead. Still got to deal with the 6-1. Let's see. Or that actually counters the whole imp effect, I guess. Oh, come on. Move a zombie gets +1. You should just win the game then. So I even sacrificed doing the Deadly. Okay, nice, dude. That should be rank 20. First time ever. And now that might give me 100 right on the spot, right? Like 100, 150 gems. So that might mean that I'm able to afford, like, look at this win streak abuse. Or did I even get to it? Wait, I didn't get to it. I thought it was giving me like way more because of the win streak bonus. Never mind, I celebrated too soon. You could say, oh, it's taking more to win because you're getting to a higher rank, but the difference between 18 and 19 isn't that significant. Yeah, look at the sexy gem total that I have. I might save up to 750 just to try to buy a hero outright, because that's the only way I'll ever be able to get one, it seems like. 45? Now that's just not a fair matchup. Now I'm gonna get rolled. Trying to ruin my win streak. So now I might not, even though I was just celebrating. I can beat rank 30s, but maybe not rank 40s. Gonna be tough. But not because he's even going to be a good player, just because he's going to have two good cards. Like already, 1 mana 2/1 or 1 mana 2/2, do 1 damage to everything, which is obviously going to be annoying with respect to that. When it hurts the plant hero, when you almost feel desired to do that, it'll still trade in, or I should. What's been working for me is just sort of ignoring stuff. But that effect is going to kill anything else pretty much that I put out there, so. What a bullshit matchup, though. That is really dumb. I can't even do that. He could just be using some sort of meme troll deck anyway, but. What, that doesn't charge the block meter? Oh, obviously because he has bullseye, but. You could do this, and then next turn we can combo the other two together. The 2 cost. The whole blessing is that these games don't drag out for too long, but it could be hard to make that happen. Zombie tricks cost 1 more, which is not a huge deal. I'm not really much of the trick using type anyway. Now that lane's going to be unusable. Or you could do when a pirate hurts the plant hero, which isn't really going to happen anyway. This should be fine. But again, if you were to play like another one of those, I would just lose because I can't do anything about it. Deal 1 damage there, at least that's fine. It's gonna be hard to deal with this 1/4. It's always one of those oddly statted things. You almost need the bowling ball type of shit. If I was on the smash, it's just not an easy value to deal with, and he knows it because I can't I can't even put something there to potentially try to attack it. Doesn't mean we couldn't still rush him down, but this matchup was really unpleasant. Like, we're getting bronze players too, but this is too high of a difference. I mean, you could hope that this is going to hit in the whatever, in these two lanes, but he only has 3 cards left though, so despite his crazy value, but he's just going to keep getting more. That's the thing. There's nothing that I can do about it. Nothing I have will even survive standing there for 1 turn. So, like, what am I supposed to do? Hanging on by a thread, hoping you can rush him down, which I won't be able to because... whatever, dude. So we'll give Super Brains a chance to try to get me to rank 20, which now the win streak isn't even going to be there, but whatever. 1 win should do it. I was on, like, a crazy win streak, so it should let you... yeah, clearly player diff. He's just so good, right? Using all these insane cards. It's like if you have 1 or 2, I can understand, but none of this is even going to do anything. Doesn't even mean that, oh, you hacked the game or you pay to win. It could just be that you played for a long time, which is fair enough. But rank 45 is pretty, you know, pretty fair. If I was in rank 45 myself. Yeah, we gotta do like a Malagos combo. Play both of those and they'll do like 7 damage each and kill him. And this guy is just way too good value. He's very hard to get rid of sometimes. And as soon as I have the means to get rid of him, he automatically just gets another one. I heard you like Camping Cucumber, so he conjures himself, so you can conjure another one. An endless loop. And that was a heck of a premature celebration, thinking that I got it last time. So do I lose much rank here? I don't lose anything still, so... Alright, Super Brains carry me to rank 20. All you'd have to do is like win 1 game. Let me actually see what is this deck about now. I've forgotten. Probably the same general idea, but we'll face a rank 45, so there's nothing really too special about it. What is this guy? Wait on heights. It could be a 3-mana 4/4. Like, that's such a big deal anyway. Come on, just let me get it. It's so close, dude. This should be my last chance. Normally, I would say, okay, I can rotate back to Green Shadow and the plants, but let's let this speak for itself. Permadeath rank 20 push. So stupid. He's a rank 4. Zion Williamson. I didn't know he plays this game. He's probably injured again. That's why. Or shit. There we go. Why is that happening so much today? I've won like 3 or 4 games like that, so I won't even take full credit for it. So now, will that get me to rank 20, or it still won't? You would think it should. Well, I'm not on a win streak anymore, but... let's see this animation. It's that card that I don't even like too much. The Bullseye 1/2. Doesn't really seem fitting that should represent gold. Yeah, now we have an excess, and we might even be able to buy a pack, too, on top of the whole consideration for... on top of the ability to buy the event card. So now, how much did it really hurt me, right? Just a few weeks of not buying stuff, and I could change my mind and buy 5 packs right now. But I obviously won't do that. So we didn't get to it in the most climactic way, but I felt like I already deserved it. I don't know if it'll let you fall out of it now, but at least, whatever. We'll just go till we lose the Super Brains. It's actually not too bad, because these decks haven't really changed or evolved too much for me. Even though I got these legendaries, it's just... that's not even having that big of an impact. Like... it is good, but that's not going to just auto-win you games. I just keep getting so low on health. Like, I almost need some heals or something weird. Reeled in an environment, not really going to matter. Let's just do that and sort of play a bit reactively, but sort of ignoring what they're doing and going face has worked pretty well for me. And this is a pretty even matchup, too. Level 20. Or, I mean, rank 21. Zombie gets -1/-1. Okay. You can play the 2/2 to trade into that pretty favorably. This one is basically free, so you may as well just do it. You know, you're not going to get the little ooze synergy, but that card is sort of just good value in and of itself. You play a free thing, and then it also synergizes with other effects. Okay, dude. I mean, he's spamming removal and stuff, but at least in the long run, that means those aren't really high value cards. Not really summoning anything. You're playing Solar Flare wrong. You're supposed to go face all the way, but not necessarily. It doesn't really compad with the whole ramp thing either. Okay, you can make a Space Cadet. You could move it, it gets +1. Which, I mean, I almost wish we could stay there and get +1. Yeah, you're ramping to try to aggro, like my green Magic the Gathering deck, which almost doesn't even make sense. I wasn't trying to play it like aggro, but then you're sort of forced to. Now, this guy could stick around for a while, and that could be trouble. +1/+1 when you play a trick. I don't really trust my ability to rush some of these things down, so 3/4. Draw 2 cards would probably be an appropriate time to do it. Now you could combo these two, let's say, on the ramp, and that would enable you to basically you know, get a card that could carry you here. But this isn't very good in and of itself. Or no, I already fucked up. I was supposed to play that first. Ah, oh, fuck. Wait, what if I move a zombie on top of it, though? Maybe you can't do that. Maybe I should test that interaction, or I should just play it as a static 2/2. Kind of a horrible idea. Or if I was going to do that, then I should have put it here and then 5/2. I don't know what that even does, but I'll just get rid of this. 5/4. When destroyed, make seedlings next door. Is he really going to leave the thing around and let me get a legendary from it still? Red plant that costs 5 or more. That has 5 or more. You should almost save that, but somehow I feel like their hand is not that good. Get rid of that. Who would have thought playing this cold turkey like that would be good? It was obviously just a mistake. I even said just before that what I should do. So all I need is just something to play. Okay, dude. Okay. That's so weird. Like, sure, it destroys yours too, but basically, well, you know, compare that to some of the removal cards. You pay the same amount to just do like 7 damage to one thing. You almost don't want to do this, or you really don't. Yeah, I don't care about the 5 damage. It's like I don't want to trigger those seedlings right now. I can deal with it later, which might be a very bad idea, but I just kind of have to hope I get some good things here from draws. At least now you'll get rid of one of the seedlings. It's gonna totally destroy me despite as much as I like it. It seems like still a doable matchup, but it is tough. Do the bonus attack here. That would be fine. Then when we finish off one, we can't do anything about the other. Just make like a dinky 1/1 or something, since it has a bias towards lower cost stuff in the very complicated mathematical way that people explain it. Like, you know, sure, there's more low cost cards, but there's nothing in the description that really indicates that. Okay, that's nice. Although you could still put something good behind it. You can just tell sometimes the quality of their deck, though, based on that, or at least the approach of it. You play a berry, do 1 damage, okay. Nothing you're putting out is too threatening. Oh, that can be, as soon as I say that. Move a zombie, gets +1. You're not necessarily going to be able to stop that. In fact, aren't you just going to die on the spot? Even if it had deadly, it's not going to matter. Although I guess I have nothing to lose by doing it. Does a bonus attack. Oh wow, what a save. What a combo. Because even though you needed the deadly and now you'll at least trade in, that would have actually just killed me on the spot. So now I have to just get stuff that's gonna save me. The block meter is gonna save me once. All I have to do is just get some good value stuff here, but I barely even have it. I wouldn't even say this person had too crazy of a deck. Like, it was sort of a fair matchup. They ran out of cards too. That worked out perfectly as far as the block thing, but now it won't. Or wait. Yeah, I'm hanging on by a thread. Move a zombie, does a bonus attack. The problem is you can't do it like mid-combat, so you'd have to tank these and then move it. Damn, what an epic game, though. We both sort of burn out of cards. That's sometimes the most satisfying way to do it, which high-level play typically won't be like that. Or it might, but it'll, like, go down to the wire as far as the decks themselves. Right, like, how often do you go in fatigue mode or run out of cards in this game? It doesn't seem like it happens very much. So we subvert the need to do the daily quest, by which I mean the weekly quest, by which I mean a quest that I only get offered every 2 weeks, even though it's probably meant to be every week, and that I can only complete every, like, 4 weeks then because of it. But either way, in fact, I even got farther with it than I thought I would. We at least get to rank 20, so now we're over that threshold. So if I felt like it, I could get the event card anytime I want. How do you even see that? Just here, yeah, I could buy that, but obviously that's not the thing that I want. When hurt, make an imp that costs 2 or less in a random lane. Yeah, that's kind of garbage. I want something that's high cost, which there weren't even that many interesting ones. Maybe there's an interesting one for plants that I would rather have. Let's actually check. I was sort of saying that as a criteria, but I feel like we sort of spoiled the plants too much anyway. If there's something like 7 plus cost, 6 cost, 6 mana, 5/3, or the Pumpkin King is from that too that I was just talking about. Make a sappy place environment. Yeah, these don't really go high cost enough. It doesn't mean they're not good cards, but Troy Zombie here with 4 or less. Wow, none of these actually are interesting, which is kind of good in a way because then I don't have to feel like I'm relying on the event stuff. I've seen most of these, none of them are that good, although I do like the Pumpkin guy. This one has some potentially Freudian imagery to it, I guess you could say. Attack, using its health instead of its thing. Yeah, none of those are good. Wow, I thought there'd be some really high cost cool stuff. But whatever, at least we hit a good milestone. I can't guarantee that we'll even get there next month, but just in the natural progression of the... I wasn't even expecting to be able to continue from the ladder, because I swear it reset like in the middle of the month last time, like on the 26th or something weird. I hate when games do that. Pokemon triggered me like crazy because I had like a permanent challenge riding on it too. I get to 500 rank, which isn't even that big of a deal, but in the context of that shitty kind of deck that I was using, it makes sense. Yeah, we'll get some kind of better season rewards and stuff too. But yeah, there's no way I'd be able to get to just diamond just like that. That's going to take a little bit longer. We saw how crazy the taco guy was. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, see, even the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, as a sign of its quality as a card, is listed as the, you know, he's the epic ultimate one. So that shows you he's the best card in the game. Even this guy is pretty cool. But I don't like how shitty some of these are. Like, that makes sense for wood. That makes sense for bronze. But then you got to ramp it up a little bit. You go from the Spine Apple to the fucking Piranha Plant to the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit. It should be like, this is like the football zombie, or I guess they're all plants, or they're not because there's a chicken. But yeah, we need more zombie representation here, first of all. They're all plants except for one. But no, you go from the Sunflower to a 1/2 to a 2/3 or whatever with its effect. You got to space it out a little more. That notification always makes it seem like I have something to just open, but yeah, I mean, I could buy a ton of packs. I could almost just buy a hero outright. This actually gives me a little extra cushion too. So now it's almost like I could buy an event card and then still have enough left over to almost have enough in my back pocket for another event card. But no, I should just start buying packs now. Gold League bundle. Congratulations on reaching the Gold League. Give us money. What a fucking stupid thing. You get an accomplishment, you have to pay for what you get. 10 times weekly event cards. Bonus. Wait, what? Limit 1 per player. Do we give me 10 event cards? I mean, obviously, it's free to play on top of everything else. It's not enough to play it free to play, though. I had to make it no crafting as well, which doesn't bother me as much as it probably would with some people, but I guess that's a good milestone. So we do get to see the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit in action, but then we still lose in the very same game. But yeah, let's see if Cherry Bombs would be my favorite plan in this game like they are in the main game. 4-2 zombie here and next door. Not really that crazy, though. Or the Doom Shroom's not even in the game, is it? Or it is. How come I never see it? Destroy all plants and zombies with 4 or more. No, it should just be destroy all plants and zombies, period. But yeah, what was that thing he just used again? Like some sort of rocket. It wasn't this, though. It was an AoE that destroyed everything for like 6. Let's see. That was kind of bullshit, wasn't it? Galactic Super Rare. Destroy all plants and zombies on the ground. So at least that would be... And as good as this is, I'm surprised I don't see it more. Tactical Cuke. It's basically like... You just could play on the ramp, you could play on the water, but that is an insane value card. Again, compare this to some of the removal that we have, like what is Infinity's removal? It's you're paying 6 mana to destroy everything. Sure, it destroys your stuff too, but the presumption is you're not going to really care at that point. You're just kind of desperate to clear the board. Like our removal is like deal 3 or like a fucking cake. So for 4 mana, you get to do 4 to a single plant. For 6 mana, you get to destroy all of them, except for, you know, on a ramp or in the water, but that's not that big of a deal a lot of the time.